Well, hello there. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for the format of this video. I had to get out of the dorm room and I wanted to film a video, but I didn't know what to film a video about, and I wanted to go hiking. So I'm gonna go hiking and I'm gonna bring my camera along with me, and I figured I'd just take you guys along with me. I'm eating a Subway sandwich. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I haven't eaten anything yet, so I'm gonna eat my sandwich and then we're gonna hit this short trail. I just wanted to get out and get my camera out, and yeah, so I guess that's that. I brought my 50mm on the Sony a6000, and then I also brought the kit lens with me in case I wanted to get some wide shots, the 16-50 OSS. And I have my chest mount. I may throw you guys on chest mount if I see a cool spot and I want to start snapping some pictures. I may throw you on the chest mount, but I mean, that's about it for now. I'm gonna go ahead and get my stuff packed up. So when you hear people talking about the best times to go out and take pictures, a lot of the times you're gonna hear people say that going out in the middle of the day or when the sun is up in the middle of the sky is probably the worst time you can go, because the lighting is so harsh. Like the shadows on my face or the shadows around me, I mean, the sun is pretty much right in the middle of the sky. Because the lighting is so harsh and the shadows are so exaggerated, I guess that's something that I'm gonna have to work with, which would be kind of cool. See if we can get some cool shots with some shadows, and we'll see. Let's go this way. So right now I'm shooting on manual. Let's get a wide shot here. I'm going to go to manual focus and I'm going to try to get the end. Let's see. Maybe if I get low. I like switching things up every once in a while, and because normally I do a lot of street stuff, whether I'm downtown or in busy cities, but I like switching it up and coming outside in the woods. So I'm going to try to use these 3 shadows right here. It feels weird sometimes too, taking pictures out here, because I love being in cities where either it's rained or it's dark or it's golden hour and you have cool lighting, and you can make these scenes almost that look like it's from a movie. And so I like capturing cinematic and moody little scenes from cities or whenever I go downtown, and then I come out here and it's like, oh, there's a flower, or there's a leaf, or there's a tree. And so it is kind of difficult sometimes to deal with the different subject matter. All right, so here's something. I'm going to try to manually focus on the tree that's down in the back. Not this. I'm going to try to focus on the tree that's in the back here, and I'm going to try to blur this and kind of use this fallen guy as a foreground kind of. But I don't want to step on the trail, so, or stay off of the trail. I want to stay on it because leave no trace. So I'm going to focus on the tree that's down in the back. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's all right. It's also tough to achieve that depth, because this is a 3.5 zoomed all the way out. But when you zoom in, the lowest aperture you can reach is 5.6. And so compare that to a 1.8, that's a pretty big difference. So it is a little tough to get that separation. I kind of like how all of these trees are leaning. It's all right. If you're busy a lot, or you work during the week, or you're at school and you're stressed with work, I highly recommend coming outside and just go for a hike or go for a walk or something, because that's something I do every once in a while. Is if I'm stressed with work, or if I've just been busy and I kind of need to de-stress, I always like to just come for a hike, just because it's peaceful, it's relaxing, there's nobody out here, it's quiet. Turn your phone on silent. Obviously you want to have it with you just in case of an emergency, but turn your silence off or on and just go for a hike. A lot of times I find myself just picking up my camera and kind of just go wherever. I don't really ever have a plan. I just get out because it's relaxing. Oh, I like that one. This is kind of cool. we are back in the car. We did just over, this isn't loading, I'm just gonna throw it up on the screen. We did just over 2 miles, like 2.1, maybe even less than that, 2.0 something. Easy hike. I wasn't going for distance, I just kind of wanted to get out and bring my camera with me, just to see if I could get anything. And we're gonna head home. We're gonna bring up the computer, pull up some of those photos. I didn't take a lot of photos. I had my camera out more of the first half, and the second half, kind of that last mile, I didn't really take a whole lot of pictures just because nothing was really speaking to me. It was just out relaxing. And so I didn't take a whole lot of photos, but I did take a couple. So we're gonna head back to the dorm, pull up those photos, and then this morning on my Instagram story, I posted a story telling you guys that I would like to do a Q&A. So a couple of you guys have sent me some of your questions. If you haven't already, make sure you're following me on Instagram so that way you can see when I post stuff like that. If I'm doing a Q&A or if I have a question for a video, make sure you follow me on Instagram so that way you can see the posts that I put on there. And so you get to see my photos. So I will see you guys at the dorm. Have been following me for a while, or if you follow me on Instagram, you kind of see that the style I have is more street oriented. I like to take pictures at night. I like dark, contrasty, moody photos. And so photos like these, this isn't really stuff that I would upload to my Instagram. This isn't really stuff that I take too seriously. This is just me having fun, getting out, taking my camera, and kind of just de-stressing a little bit. School has been picking back up, so it's nice to get out, go for a walk, take you guys along with me. So on my story, I asked you guys to send me any questions that you guys may have, and you guys sent me some pretty good questions actually. So our first question is from PSL SMF. Thanks for the message. He says, can you give me settings tips for the Sony a6000? I get a lot of questions like this. What are the best settings? Give me some tips for settings. I can't give you one setting for all of you guys because you're all going to be shooting something different and you're going to need different settings for the different stuff that you're doing. I recommend starting on aperture just because it's gonna get you off auto firstly, and it's gonna kind of help you to start changing some of those settings manually. So with aperture, the only thing you control is your aperture. So if you're walking around and you know you want a shallow depth of field, then you just change your aperture to 1.8, 2.8, whatever your lowest is. Or if you want a shot where you want everything in focus, then you can change it to f9, f11, and that's all you have to worry about because your camera is going to change your shutter speed and your ISO automatically. So if I could give you any tips about settings, I could make a whole nother video on the settings you're going to want to use for specific situations, but just overall, I would recommend start on aperture, get used to changing the aperture whenever you're in different locations, and kind of analyze what your camera does when you change your aperture. See how it changes the ISO in different settings. See how it changes the shutter speed when something is moving fast or if something is moving slow. Kind of start to see how camera adjusts to different situations, and then you can start to slowly make the change to manual and really get the most out of your camera. Diggin' Doug says, what is your favorite photography rule to break? That's a pretty good question. Normally when you're listening to people talk about photography or taking pictures, people are going to give you tips on to how to correctly expose your photos. You don't want to overexpose your photos because then you'll have blown out highlights, and you don't want to underexpose your photos because you'll have black in your photo that you won't be able to get back. But you know, depending on the type of mood that I'm going for, if it's darker out and I kind of want to have a darker scene or a moody scene, I may underexpose a photo on purpose. Or if it's a lighter scene and I kind of want to exaggerate that feeling of it being bright and kind of vibrant, then I may overexpose it on purpose. So I guess that would be a photo rule to break. Normally people try to, I guess, perfectly expose their photo when they can, and I guess sometimes I break that rule just by kind of adjusting my exposure depending on the scene that I'm shooting. Chris on Site says, who is your biggest photography inspo? For me, I love watching North Borders. I love watching Seventh Era. I've followed those guys since I think North Borders had around 20,000 subscribers is when I started watching those guys. Hayden, Mike, Liam, Lamont, all those guys have been a huge inspiration for me, and one of the main reasons why I started my YouTube channel, just because I wanted to see what would come out of it, and here I am. So definitely big inspiration for me. Ahmad says, how has photography changed your perspective on life? That is also a good question. I guess in just the small things. You know, when you're walking around in your day-to-day life, you know, somebody sees a puddle, they probably don't think of the banger you could get if you just got low and put your camera up against it. But I guess just the small things where I'll be walking around and I may see a cool photo opportunity, or see a reflection in the lake or a puddle, or I'll see a cool car, it might be a cool panning shot. Just small stuff like that. And for those of you who enjoy taking photos and have been doing it for a long time, you can relate in that, you know, in day-to-day life you'll see photo opportunities kind of hit you right in the face, whereas a normal person may not think anything of it. I appreciate you guys sending me those questions on my Instagram. Make sure you're following me, and that's gonna wrap up the video. Definitely a lazier video than usual. I didn't really have a plan when I first started filming. I kind of just wanted to get out and make a video. So if you're still watching the video, I appreciate you guys watching, and the next video will hopefully be a little bit more planned out, a little bit more entertaining, I guess. This was just kind of a hodgepodge, put together a whole bunch of stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.